It's our time. It's our time.
Hey there, I'm Shub from North of Normal, and this is One Song, One Story. The concept is simple. Each guest brings a song, and together we explore what it means to them, the memories it holds, the feelings it unlocks, the story it tells about who they are. Today's episode is about change, nostalgia, and the fine line between self-reflection and overthinking. I'm joined by Nora, a Nashville-based songwriter who made the brave decision to quit the safe path and go all in on music. We talk about growing up with music in the car, writing songs as a way to process emotions, and what it feels like to outgrow an older version of yourself while still holding it with love. The song Nora brings captures that exact tension, the beauty of looking back, and the danger of getting stuck there. Enjoy. Welcome to the One Song, One Story podcast, Nora. How are you today?
Thank you so much for having me. How are you?
I'm very well, very well. I've been excited about this. And whereabouts in the world are you today?
I'm in Nashville, Tennessee today.
Very cool. What time of day is it?
It's about 1 p.m. And it's absolutely freezing. And yeah, we're having a good time.
Good. I feel you. It's pretty cold here as well. And if your day today was a song, what would the title of that song be and what would the vibe be?
That's a great question.
I'm
I
putting
think
you on
the
the spot at
vibe,
the very start here.
yeah. Well, my family just got into town today, and so it'd probably be something a little bit more nostalgic. Let's call it, let's just call it winter nostalgia. Um,
Okay.
yeah, I think the vibe would be pretty, something family vibe, like a more calming, relaxing, looking back on a moment and being really content, 'cause I have my favorite people with me, so
Okay. Always a nice feeling. Has it been a long time since you've reconnected with them?
No, I just saw them over Christmas, so about a month ago, but you can never have too much family time, so I'm always excited and grateful to have them here.
Beautiful. Well said. Well said. Another thing I like to do is find a song that connects us. Now we don't know each other, but I know when your PR team Melinda reached out, she was telling me about you and saying, "Oh, she's just quit her job to pursue a career in music." I was like, "No way! I've not quit my job to do a similar thing."
Yeah.
And I remember quitting my job, and I remember the first day I didn't go in, I played "Feeling Good" by Nina Simone. And it really was powerful because it's like a new dawn, a new day, a new light, and I'm feeling good.
What a
And that's,
fantastic song.
yeah, that song came to mind. So I was like, cool. So I'm going to use that. Um, but yeah, what an amazing story, right? So you quit your job to become a full-time musician. How's that going for you?
I did. It's been going awesome. Honestly, it was a very scary feeling at first because,
Mm,
I went to college, I got the degree. It's kind of like the normal path that you would take is, getting a job in a corporate kind of setting. And I just realized that it wasn't for me and I needed to pursue my passion. And I've been doing it for probably a year now since I quit, and it has been awesome. I have time to write, time to reflect more on my feelings. I have a lot of energy to put towards my own stuff, which I'm very, very grateful for. So,
yeah, so cool. Energy is the word. Energy is the word. I think when you're in a 9 to 5, you can do stuff outside of it, but your full focus and energy is kind of going into something other than your passion. So that's a truly beautiful feeling. And how long have you been a songwriter?
I've been a songwriter for a little bit now. I would say like I don't classify my middle school self songwriting as a songwriter because the songs were pretty juvenile, and I think I've definitely graduated out of playground drama songs. I would say in high school is when I took it a little bit more seriously and the songs made a little bit more sense. I would write about like high school crushes, friend issues, just, a lot of self-reflection, and I think that's when it really started for me. So I would say, like, 7, 8 years I've been taking writing seriously.
Nice. I hope you've still got some of that work. That would be great.
No,
Great to listen.
no one is allowed to ever see any of that. Bad, it's bad.
And where do you think that creativity comes from?
I don't know. I think my mom and dad are both creative in their own separate ways, and there was always, like, good music playing in our house, like Michael Bublé, Sarah Bareilles, older classics, um, and I just think like, my dad always had, like, 80s or country music on. Our family was always playing music, and I
Yeah.
think that's probably where it stems from. I also think I grew up in a household where my brother and I were allowed to express our emotions, and
Mm,
so I think in having that freedom to do that with our family, we kind of just, like, grew into, using those emotions to create, and that
yeah.
wasn't, like, looked down or anything. It was always welcomed, so I think that's probably a part of it too.
That's beautiful. That kind of comes up a lot on this show. Um,
Yeah.
that it is a gift, and I always say not a gift in the sense when I talk about being a songwriter that I'm gifted. I feel it's a gift that I have this outlet where many people in the world may not have this outlet to kind of channel thoughts and emotions through. And it does feel like a gift sometimes to have a kind of a medium. Some people it's painting, some people it's writing. It does feel like a gift to have
Yeah.
this medium that you can channel things through and kind of feel different afterwards. Maybe you release something, maybe you discover something new, but yeah, it feels very beautiful. And always curious, I thought before coming on the show, um, I'm a songwriter. I really don't think I've ever spoken to another songwriter. And I was like, that feels
Really?
strange. I should be talking to more songwriters, but I'm so curious. I'm just like, I know how it works for me. And for me, I mean, I've got 2 kids. I've got a I'm a full-time dad, pretty busy life just at home. But inspiration, there is no sort of thing I do for inspiration, no special thing. It will just be when I'm making breakfast, when I'm playing with the kids, I could be doing anything and something will come to me. But how does inspiration work for you?
Yeah, I think we're similar in that way. I think anytime that I get an intense emotion, whether that's anger, sadness, happiness, whatever that may be, I think that's when I'm very inclined to be like, okay, I need to sit down and take a second for myself and think about this because good could come from it. At least, especially when you're sad or mad, it's like something, please come from this. That's good. Um, you know? But, I think we're similar in that way. I think it kinda hits you out of nowhere sometimes, like shower or if you see an interaction at the grocery store that makes you think, "Oh, that reminds me of that time I felt this way," and then it's like, "Oh." But yeah, I would say right now I'm at a point in my life, I'm 25, where I think I'm having a lot of emotions in a lot of different ways, and
Mhm.
I'm grateful for those emotions because it gives me, a source to write from. But yeah, I think I'm navigating life and a lot of inspiration comes from that.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much inspiration anywhere and everywhere. How does it, do,
Right.
do do you typically start with words, melodies? How does it kind of unfold for you normally?
Usually, like a blurb. I'll think of a blurb, like a few sentences or I'll see something and be like, "Oh, I really wanna write about that." So, I feel like it's like I start with words for sure, and it's usually like a little clever thing I thought in my head, and then I kind of
Mm,
expand on it, but the melodies definitely come after for me. I feel like I'm very lyric forward in my process.
yeah, yeah. Very interesting, very interesting. And you have brought a great song with you, and we will get to it, but I just wanted, before we get there, just explore a little bit about your relationship with music. So, um, what are the kind of the earliest memories you have of either listening to music or kind of falling in love with a song? Yeah, what are the earliest memories you have like that?
I would say There's a few that come to mind, and most of the experiences that come to mind are my mom and I driving to my dance classes when I was younger. Um, Specific, she had the, like, Michael Bublé album, and I remember Home, the song Home that he sings off his album, that was, like, a pivotal song for me. Like, that painted a real picture in my head and made me feel very sentimental, and it just, like, gave me, like, that feeling, it's like a fiery feeling in your body, like, I always got that when I heard that song.
Yeah.
Um, and another be Gravity by Sarah Bareilles. That song, that was a little bit older, I listened to that in, like, 5th or 4th grade, and I remember, like, just feeling so much emotion and not really knowing what to do with it or why I felt that way,
Yeah.
and I think it's funny looking back on myself at that time because I really didn't understand the words, and I really didn't have enough experience to relate to them, but I was connecting with the melody, and I think that just goes to show how, vital music is. Like, it's sick that, like, that instruments made me feel that kind of way, and, as I
Yeah.
get older, those songs have meaning to me and whatnot, but I think most of my memories started out in my mom's car on my way to dance.
Yeah, yeah, I can relate. I've got some powerful memories of being, I don't even know how old I was, but I know I was really young. And just the song came on the
Yeah.
radio, and I can picture it in my mind like it was yesterday. It's like 4 years ago, but it feels like yesterday. I can hear the song, I can see everything around me. Yeah, it sticks with you. We've had guests on here. I think there was a guest that is maybe nearly 70 years old, talking about a song that they heard when they were really young. And like you said, it may have been something they didn't understand hit them first. And then
Mhm.
suddenly, as they got older, they understood the lyrics. And then in their 40s, they were like, oh, no, no, I really understand the lyrics. And now they're nearly 70. They're like, wait, I really get him now. It's like a
Hold on,
lifelong,
this song has a
yeah.
million meanings. Yeah.
Yeah, 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 and it's just grown with them throughout their life, which is fascinating. Um, and what role does music play in your life nowadays? You do your own music, you're a songwriter, but do you listen to other people's music all the time? Or do you have it on all around the house in headphones?
Yeah, I would say it's usually on all the time. I live with my brother and my cousin, so it's a very, like, there's no, like, roommate problems, so it gets music is played throughout the house, and also in my car, music's played all the time. I love listening to new music and new artists, around Nashville, especially. I think it's cool being in proximity to creative people, but I would say I'm more of, like, music for me is just, like, reflection time, and that kind of is the theme of the song that I chose when I chose a song to bring today,
Mm,
because I think I'm a deep reflection person, and, sometimes that's bad, sometimes that's good, but I think a common theme of my life is I just, romanticize everything in the past and whatnot, so that's kind of its vibe for me. It's like it's just my reflection time, and I'm reflecting most of the time.
absolutely, yeah. And I think the song I listened to of yours on Spotify, I really got that vibe. It was very introspective, very self-reflective. When did you release that, by the way? Was that last year that came out?
Sorry?
When did you release your song that's on Spotify? Was that last year that it came out, or
Oh. No, that was just, on Friday, or
no way?
last Friday. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
wow. Oh,
the Since I've Been Gone song?
congratulations.
Thanks. Yeah, the Since I've Been Gone song, that came out, like, a week and a half ago, or 2 weeks
Yeah,
ago, I guess, but, yeah, I was really excited to put that one out because it has more of an '80s vibe, and it's a little bit more fun, whereas I feel like maybe I write a little bit more sad sometimes, so it's
yeah,
different for me.
yeah. Yeah, nice to mix it up. Okay, you
Yeah.
mentioned a little bit about the song you brought on there, so it's probably a good time to actually get into it.
Yeah.
Before we do, I guess a quick heads up for anyone tuning in for the first time. This isn't a deep dive into music theory. This show is about the stories behind songs and the ways they become part of who we are. So if you haven't heard the track we're about to explore and that Nora's about to talk about, please take a second to pause, give it a listen, and then come back. And I think you'll feel the conversation just hits a little deeper once the song's in your head. So, Nora,
Totally.
what is the song that you've chosen to bring with you today?
I chose Dangerous Levels of Introspection by JP Saxe.
Awesome. And that was a new one on me. Never heard it before. So thank you for introducing me to some new music. Um, Always
Yeah, of
curious
course.
about the process. So, when you knew you had to choose one song, did you wrestle with a few, or did this song just jump out at you as this has to be the one?
I did wrestle with a few, and they were all JP Saxe songs
Okay.
because I love his music so much. So, yeah, I think he's just one of the best writers. And I resonate with the things that he says so much that I wrestled between a few, and I ended up picking this one because I think it's more of like a full picture of my life rather than like the relationship aspect of my life or
Mm,
like, the family life. It's like it encompasses all of it. And so I thought that was the better choice.
okay, cool. And can you take us back to the moment when you first heard it? Like, where were you? Who were you? What was happening in your world at the time?
Yeah, this was like a very transitional period in my life. I was about to move to Nashville. I think this song came out June or July 2021. And so I was about to move to Nashville. I had a year of college under my belt in Philadelphia, but I didn't really leave Pennsylvania or home. I always had familiar faces around me. And so I was about to embark on a new journey all by myself. Um, and I heard it in the car on my way home from work. And I have already loved him before this point in my life. So I was like, gotta do a deep dive into the new album. And there was a few songs on that album that really inspired me. The whole album's great, but there was a few, and this was one of them because I just thought it was awesome. And it touched me, obviously.
Okay. And what kind of hit you first when you listen to this particular song? I mean, are you, I know you kind of, when you write your own stuff, it's more focused on lyrics. When you're listening to other people's music, is it the lyrics that grab you first or the general sound?
I think I'm a sucker for anything slow, pretty melody. I love piano. So I think that kind of grabbed me right away. Um, and he's just so great at like his melodies are just so great to me and very emotional. You can feel the emotion in his voice. But with this song in particular, I think what stood out to me about it is that I feel like a lot of songs are either about like heartbreak or about falling in love or, those kinds of things. And you don't hear, at least I don't hear a lot of songs that are about like life in general, I guess.
Mm,
I think a lot of songs are about heartbreak, and I think it's sort of a heartbreak song, but it's just said in such a beautiful way. And I just think it's much more about self-reflection, and I don't hear that often, so it stood out to me.
yeah, cool. And what did it kind of make you feel at the time? Did you see yourself in the song, or what was the feeling you got when you first listened to it?
I think the feeling was me thinking of myself embarking on this new journey and thinking about like my high school self and how things had changed and how I was shocked that I was going to Nashville and feeling all the sorts of emotions. And I think actually, as I got older, like when I listen to that song now, I'm like, oh, she thought things changed. Like things really changed. And I don't think younger me knew how much things would change. And I think, there's a push and pull between missing that version of your younger self, but also being grateful that you outgrew it, if that makes sense.
Mm, wow, yeah, that's quite beautiful. That is quite beautiful. And I guess that just keeps happening. That just keeps happening. So,
Oh, yeah.
uh,
I mean, that's what I've been learning.
And so how long was that ago when you first listened to this song out of interest? Was that like 5, 6
Probably
years
5
ago?
years ago.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
And then what happened after that? I mean, was this one of those songs that you were like, "Man, I'm gonna listen to this every day because I'm so in love with it," or did you kind of leave it right there and not come back to it for a while?
Yeah, I mean, he's always in my rotation of music throughout the day, so I would hear the song every now and then, but there's been certain moments of my life when it hit harder, and I come back to it, and again, like I said, it kinda takes on a new meaning.
Mm,
This song is really cool because I think it's about, at least how I translate it to myself, is it's about 2 things being true at the same time. Um, I think it's about self-reflection being very important, and, you know, when you reflect on yourself and you see a lot of growth, that's awesome. But I also think a lot of self-reflection can lead you to go into overthinking and a spiral of things and
mhm.
romanticizing the past and choosing to forget the bad things that you felt during that time, and I think that's when it becomes a little bit scary, and I'm definitely an overthinker to a fault. Um, but yeah, I mean, I'm 25 now and I moved away 5 years ago, so a lot has changed for me, and I think this song is something that I always come back to and think, "Wow, do I miss my younger self or am I usually it ends with me being like, "I am so happy with where I'm at," and, 2 things can be true at once. I can miss it, but also, "Wow, good for me," you know?
Yeah, so true. And I kind of got that, I think I'm always fascinated to listen to a song, especially when it's a new song. Find it fascinating to listen to a song and try and get a feel for what it's about. And I think you summed it up beautifully there. It's that I would describe as that line between introspection um and just ruminating on stuff, just getting stuck on things. And it is a fine line between really consciously reflecting on where you're at and how you can improve, then just to overthinking and overanalyzing yourself to the point you don't move forward. But you have been moving forward. You've been taking great strides. And does the song sound different today to you when you listen to? I mean, I'm curious because you've been through so much in that very short space of time. How does it sound to you today, and how does it kind of make you
Right.
feel?
Um, it definitely sounds different today, and I think when I first heard the song, I didn't have as much grace for myself when I was younger, and I think at that point in my life, I looked at my high school self in a negative light, or my middle school self, just anything younger me, I looked at in a negative light, and now when I listen to that song, I think of myself I look at myself with a lot more grace and, like, it's almost like I'm hugging my younger self
Mm,
because I don't know, I think that's growth, and I think you have to admire a little bit of your younger self because I didn't know any better, and, the choices I made, whatever, the familiar faces from home, it was just such a different point in my life, and yeah, I think the song sounds different to me now because I've grown so much and I can really value my younger self and where she got me today.
yeah, okay. I'll ask you again in 10 years when you listen to it then, what do you think of it then as well? Probably a completely different
Hopefully it's
meaning.
good. Hopefully it's good. Right, right.
Um, if this song was a scene from a film, what do you think it would look like?
Huh. That's such a good question. I think what's coming to mind right now is just, like, my head out of the window as a car is going really fast and, like, hair blowing and wind hitting my face.
Oh,
I feel like
cool.
that's, like, a very freeing feeling, and that's kind of like and, like, it's, like, slow-mo, really cinematic. I look great in the video, that's what I'm picturing. And, um It's a very, like, nostalgic, cinematic vibe, but I think that's how I picture it because this song does make me feel like I'm letting go of something, and maybe I'm letting go of, like, the negativity that I thought of myself when I was a younger girl.
Yeah, that's cool. I guess something I talk about a lot on this podcast as well is just, and I've never talked about it to a songwriter before, but it's just fascinating that people write these songs, and we listen to them and we feel so much and we imagine so much and they have so much impact on us and they make us feel all these things and realize all these things. And like we're talking about right now, I will never stop finding that fascinating that someone's just written that song and put it out there. Um, and that it's had such an impact, and I guess as you as a songwriter, I mean, imagine hearing that back that someone came to you and said, "Oh, that song you wrote 5 years ago, it took me on a journey. It helped me realize it's just like quite a powerful, not
That'd
something
be
I
a
think a
dream
lot
come
about.
true. Dream come true
Yeah,
for
it's not something you think about when you write it, but it's quite nice to dream about how that would feel just to be on the other end of it. But as a songwriter, um, when you kind of listen to this song, are there things that you particularly admire about the song, whether it's musically, lyrically, or kind of how it's put together?
Mhm. I think what I love about this song is how honest it is,
Mm,
and it's vulnerable, and it's kind of I personally maybe some people don't love this, but I love when a song is very specific to an artist. Like, he talks about his old car and old things in his life, like his old apartment and his old neighbor, and I personally love that because it paints such a story, and it gets me thinking about the picture that I'm painting of myself in my head. So I think I just love how specific he is, and he always just hits it, like, right on the head with the
mm,
emotion. I think his vocals, like, strike a chord in me, emotionally, and I think there's a huge difference in songs when an artist's voice is very powerful in that way, you know?
yeah,
So, I would say that's
yeah,
probably my biggest takeaways of my favorite part.
yeah. I would agree with you, and I think there was I was picking up a real honesty through it. Like it wasn't very performative. It was
Mhm.
kind of like it was very honest. And I think when you've got someone being quite honest, it not only forms a connection, but it feels unique. It's like it's not generic. This isn't a generic song. It feels quite personal, quite honest. And for me, no matter what genre of music or what kind of song it is, that instantly sort of drew me in. I was curious, just because I was like, "Who is this guy singing about this stuff that's going on in his life?" But yeah, really cool.
Right,
I
right.
really enjoyed it. Um, if someone else
Go ahead.
were to cover this song, who would you want it to be and why?
Hmm. Maybe, like do you know who Maisie Peters is?
No, I haven't heard of them actually.
Okay, she is great. She's, like, sort of like indie pop, I guess,
Mm,
and she's very similar in the way that she writes. I think she's a very honest songwriter, and I think her voice would sound really cool on something like this.
very cool. We'll have to check her out. Well, let's make it happen. Let's make it happen.
Yeah, we definitely should. Yeah.
Um,
Right.
and yeah, it's a beautiful song. It's kind of, for me, it felt very introspective, similar,
Mhm.
not similar in terms of songs, but same when I listened to Feel Like Mine by Yourself. I got that same vibe too, and I thought it was quite endearing and quite honest, and it was really nice to listen to. So great song choice. What do you think the song choice reveals about you?
I think it reveals about me that, 1, I am very much so an overthinker, and There was this video I saw on TikTok a few months ago, and it said, "I'm a girl that really doesn't get over anything." And I think that's kind of funny, but I think it's also pretty accurate. Like, I can look back at any moment of my past and, like, romanticize it and be like, "Oh my gosh, like, wow." And there's a music video of myself playing in my head over this, tiny moment in my life that for some reason I'm making a big deal now. But I think I'm just a chronic overthinker, and I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing, but I think it's definitely true about me.
Well, listen, you're a songwriter, so it's good. It's good to have material, right?
Yeah, yeah,
If
agreed,
you didn't
agreed,
have that, you feel
definitely.
like, oh, what do I write about today?
Exactly, exactly. I definitely have a long list of things I can write about because I've been keeping them in the back pocket, thinking about them.
Yeah, yeah. Listen, Nora, we're starting to come towards the end of the conversation, but before we do, looking back on what we shared, like the song, your stories, the memories, is there anything that stands out for you right now, or anything new that's come up for you at all?
When I listened back to the song this morning before I got on the call, I was thinking a lot about the nostalgia of home, especially because I have my parents that literally came in today, and I think there's such a beautiful thing about missing a time in your life, knowing that you can't go back to it,
Hmm.
but putting it in a positive light in your head and being like, "Wow." I think a beautiful thing that I felt today was I think my younger self wanted to be liked really badly, and I think I thought being liked meant being quiet and keeping the peace and maybe shrinking myself a little bit, and I'm so happy that I'm at the stage of my life where I don't do that as much, and obviously it's a constant work in progress, but I think the song, when I listened to it today, just made me feel like everything gets better, and when you look at the past, I think it's important to put some positive light on it and understand how much growth there really is, because I personally am so happy that I grew up a little bit and moved away from home, and although I miss home and I miss my family, it was totally the right decision, and, like, it's cheesy for sure, but, like, there is only one life to live, and I'm really happy that I'm living it my way and not for others.
100%. Love that. Thanks for a beautiful, inspirational ending to the show. Uh, Listen, thank you so much for bringing this song and for
Thank
bringing
you.
yourself so openly. It's been amazing to meet you and share this time with you. Before we wrap it up, like, where can people find you? What's next for you?
Yeah, people can find me on TikTok and Instagram. It's just Nora is my username for both. I have an EP dropping January 30th, which has similar vibes to what we talked about today. A lot of love, a lot of loss, a lot of figuring it out because who the hell knows what they're doing when they're in their 20s, and that's where I'm at. Um, but yeah, it comes out January 30th, and I hope you listen to it. But yeah. I'm also so grateful that you had me today. It was so much fun talking to you.
Oh, it's been amazing, and I can't wait for the new EP. I hope it goes fantastically. And thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Of course. Of course. Thank you.
It's our time. It's our time. It's our time.